40 years, Derek Shamray has been an important contributor to baseball and hockey in Oak River, Blanchard, Hamiota, and of course across the province of Manitoba. In 1986, he made a mark with the great Hamiota Red Sox baseball team of the Manitoba Senior Baseball League. 2000s, he was coaching in the minor ball in Oak River, Tri-Town, Midwest AAA teams, provincial championships and Western championships, Western Canadian championships were part of that, and also found his way to the national level coaching senior teams in 2018 and 2019. I want to talk a little bit, Derek, about your longevity to begin with. 40 years in baseball at various levels, ages, and various roles, player, coach, organizer, that sort of thing. What do you think has been the key to you being around that long and being so successful for so long?
The love of the game. It's a great game of baseball, and can't beat it. And when summertime rolls around, it's an important part of life in rural Manitoba.
That it is. Talk to me a little bit about your early days in baseball and some of the teams you came up with. What memories do you have of those times?
Well, I was fortunate enough to have my dad and Denny Smith and Brian Smith at an early age, which most people know them. I think they're all in the Hall of Fame here. And then later on, 2 years later, I was fortunate enough to have Glennis Scott. So, I mean, it was sort of destiny that we were going to be successful at an age, because it was great coaching. And that's where the fundamentals came from and got instilled at me at a young age, and that's what I tried teaching on all these years.
What about some of the players you played with? Who are some of the better players that stand out in your mind?
Well, two of them unfortunately have passed away, Todd Smith and Mark Smith, who were great players. Mark and I played on the Team Manitobas, and Todd later on was a great Hamiota Red Sox, and so that was at an early age. And then as we got older, the Kerry Lowe's and the Mike Labossiers and the Robertson boys, so it was easy to be a fringe player and look good.
Hamiota is one of those special places in the baseball universe, as far as I'm concerned. And in 1986, it was a really special place, and you were part of that Red Sox team.
Yeah, I mean those guys they were great guys. They know how to play baseball. They played it hard. That was the one thing that they never gave out a bat, and everything was hard. And they played to the fullest, and that was installed by Al and carried out by everybody.
Hamiota is a smaller community, but it never seemed to lack for support, either in terms of fans or the ability to get things done.
No, it's a great baseball town. It still is, and the support there is phenomenal.
You've also had quite a lot of success with a town that I think has a very similar pedigree to Hamiota, and that's Oak River.
Well, it's a lot smaller, but we're holding our own, and like to think that we can keep up with some of those bigger towns.
And you get great support from not just the community itself, but from the surrounding area.
We do, yes. Even, we hosted Western Canadians last year, and everybody told us that we'd lose money because it was and you know what? We come out, we made some money, so it was a success.
And it's kind of unheard of that a community the size of Oak River would take on that big of a championship.
Well, it was, we had a team from BC when they said they looked us up on the map. We were a little dot, he said. And, so they flew into Brandon, but they had a blast. They said it was great. They drove from Brandon, and we were quite happy. And I mean, we've worked hard. Our ball diamond is very nice, and it can sustain something like that.
Tell me a little bit about your experiences and your successes at the Western Canadian and then at the national levels. How did you find that, and what impressed you?
It's a different level when you get there. Like with the kids, we were fortunate enough to win Western Canadians, I think, 3 times. So they're just a special group of kids. And then at the senior level, we're starting to get a medal here and there, but we're starting to compete. We're putting an all-star team in now, and So hopefully we're going again in Tecumseh, Ontario in August, so hopefully we can have a good showing there again.
As a coach, when you're getting young people involved in baseball, how do you go about that, and what sort of things do you try and stress?
That baseball is a game of failures, and if you got to learn how to fail before you have to learn how to succeed, and it's not an easy game, and you have to just go out there and accept, one night you might go 0 for 4, and you just got to get back at it in the next game and have a good mental view.
I've heard that baseball parallels life in that regard.
Absolutely, yes.
I couldn't help but notice that there was just a small little tinge of pride when you talked about the great facility that you developed at Oak River, and deservedly so. You've spent a lot of your time and your energy fundraising and working on baseball facility projects, whether it's dugouts or scoreboards or whatever's required. How important is that, do you think, to the game of baseball in general?
It's huge. I mean, we have people, after hosting Western Canadians, and even our league, people come and they're amazed that we have like an electronic scoreboard, and the facility is always in pretty good shape, and it's it's just something that we as a community take a lot of pride in and love to show it off.
Do you think it's something that gets enough attention? Do you think there's enough focus on that in baseball in Manitoba in terms of developing top-notch facilities?
I mean, it's hard. Like, it's time-consuming, and you take for us for instance, we have to look after ourselves, and everybody's busy, so it's extra time that sometimes people can't put in.
And something as simple as keeping the grass cut becomes a challenge.
Especially right now, when we're getting rain every second day. Yeah, it's.
I want to ask you as a final question about the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame, and particularly about your induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame. What does that mean to you?
Well, I'm humbled. I'm humbled and honored at the same time. It's fantastic. I mean, everybody, I know so many people that are in there, and I've always looked up to those guys, and I'm very proud.
Proud and a very deserving member of the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.